don't want to face myself. There we go.
Did you send a message in the Slack group?
Yeah, I'm working on it. How do I don't know how to get the link. Oh, there it is.
Which one's your apron? Maybe your sous chef so we can go faster?
Is it working?
What are you hearing it on?
Mike Wahlberg. Oh my.
Who's that?
It's a guy in high school. Dishwasher's running? Cool.
Did you just stop it? In a second?
Sure.
It's just drying.
Okay. I don't think anybody's actually watching it.
Have you directed your work people to it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just put Allie in the frame so it's just Allie?
Yeah, sure.
She doesn't have much left to eat, but
Alright, well, whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Okay, so this is the second of a cooking series that I was doing for work, but Blue Jeans is currently having a ton of issues, so my really fancy, oh gosh, the really, also she's not in the, oh, yes, just kidding. So the really fancy multi-camera thing that I had set up is not going to work, so I might just bring, maybe I'll just bring this over here. Sure. Jesus. Okay, so having a good time so far. I'm also throwing the recipe out the window because I don't really feel like making that one, so I'm just going to cook chicken tikka masala the way that I like to cook it. Should be most of the same ingredients, but yeah, we'll see. So, did this get unmuted?
Hey, Andrew?
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to be in that. Okay. All right. So, anyways, you guys can't see my cutting board now. Challenges. All right. So, the recipe called for chicken breasts. I'm going to do chicken thighs. It also calls to marinate the chicken for a really long time, and we're not going to do that either, just because we don't have time. So first things first, I'm just going to basically season the crap out of these chicken thighs. We're just going to do basically a combination of salt, some cumin, some coriander, and I think that's going to be it. Then we're going to put a little bit of sort of a garlic coating on there and broil them until they're done. So again, the original recipe called for like a lemon sort of, I don't know if you call it a marinade or just like a soak, but I'm sure it's delicious. I think we've done it before. Just don't feel like wasting all that time. So if you're following along, again, if you're using chicken breasts, totally fine. But if we're using chicken thighs, if you're using bone-in, again, no difference. You'll just have to take the bones out at the end. Basically what I'm just going to do here is just spread them all out, give them a little pat to dry them off, and then just go absolutely ham with spices. So, wash my hands lots of times. We also want to get the rice started in a couple minutes here. It's going to be pretty much the same recipe that I've always said for rice with an Instant Pot, basically a 1-to-1 ratio of washed rice to your liquid. And then high pressure 3 minutes, and then let it sit for 10, and it's going to be perfect every time. So again, really heavily season this. I'm basically just going to coat this with salt. It's pretty difficult to over season here. I mean, obviously you're not like salt crusting it, but you know, good heavy hand. So again, coriander. This you probably want to do the least of. It's not like that strong. It's just got a sort of weird flavor if you do too much of it. Definitely recommend tasting all your spices. Like if you don't know what coriander tastes like, just take a little pinch. Cumin, we're going to do a fair bit. Not quite as much as the salt, but you know, good amount. Go ahead and flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. Lots of salt. Never too much salt. Well, that's not true, but hard to do too much salt. I'm going to use parchment paper towels today. That's also fine, I suppose. Cumin again. And then coriander. So you don't need to do the yogurt. It gives it kind of a nice coating when you do, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. You probably want to use like a Greek style yogurt, but pretty much any yogurt will work as long as it's not like flavored. This one's just a plain whole milk yogurt. You don't need to do too much, just, you know, a little bit of yogurt here and there. Throw some extra on the board for the other side. And then just kind of give it a little yogurt rub down. Make sure you get yogurt on the other side. And then we're going to go ahead and throw it on just a little tray that I've put foil on here, just to make cleanup easier. And then this is going to go straight in the broiler. You could also do this on the grill, or any other kind of super high heat, you know, thing. You could do it in a pan. It might get weird. The yogurt is probably just gonna like, I don't know, get strange. So probably wouldn't do it in a pan, but grill or broiler is gonna be great. Alright, so I'll go ahead and turn the broiler on, and then we'll do the rice, and then get started on the chicken tikka masala. So this recipe is pretty straightforward. Like, a lot of Indian recipes can take a really long time and have a pretty huge number of spices or like random things that you'll need for it. This one is not too complicated. I mean, it's not really even traditionally Indian, but it does use a lot of kind of standard Indian spices like, you know, the garam masala blend, and then cumin and coriander and turmeric. So let's go ahead and do the rice really fast. So I'm using a basmati rice. We buy this stuff in pretty serious bulk. It lasts a really long time. There is such thing as like expired rice, but it takes quite a while. It just takes a little bit more liquid to cook it. This stuff I'm pretty sure is still quite good. Cooked some of it yesterday. We're gonna do a cup, so go ahead and measure out a cup. And then it's really important that you rinse the rice. You just basically want to get all the extra starch off of there. I can sort of see the comments, so if people have questions or they, you know, want me to elaborate on anything, just let me know. Should be right there on the computer. So you guys can't really see this, but I'm basically just washing the rice until the water turns clear. It's not ever going to turn totally clear, but like right now it's like very, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but it's like very, very, very cloudy. You know, I probably usually do like 4 or 5 rinses before it's good enough. The only trick is just like not pouring off or pouring the rice out of the pot while you do this, which just takes a little practice. No comments? Everybody's good? Everybody's enthralled? But,
people are saying hello.
Oh, great. Alright, so this is probably good enough. On the last time you pour it off, you want to try to get not all the liquid, but about as much as possible. Any liquid that you're not pouring off here, you kind of need to like not be re-adding when you're adding your water or your chicken stock. So I try to get, you know, pretty much all of it. Because for this I'm going to use chicken stock instead of water. So again, 1-to-1 ratio. Got some chicken stock here. I'm going to do a cup. Go ahead and pour that in. Similarly with the grit, so you could just do plain white rice and water. Nothing at all wrong with that, but we're gonna try to take it a little bit further. Add a bunch of butter, a bunch of salt, a bunch of turmeric. So I don't know, maybe about 2 tablespoons of butter, 2.5 tablespoons. Just gonna make it a little bit more luxurious. Good bit of salt, so probably, I don't know, tablespoon or so of salt. And then just for color, but also I guess, whatever, a little bit of flavor. Turmeric, not too much, maybe half a teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon. So we'll go ahead and get that going. You don't need the rice to be done perfectly at the right time. It can kind of hang out in the Instant Pot for a while. One tip is that you do want to turn the Instant Pot off, which is just hitting the cancel button after the 10 minutes is done. Otherwise the rice starts to kind of burn on there. Okay, so the base of this sort of dish is going to be a bunch of aromatics, so ginger, garlic, and I'm going to add some hot peppers, and then a bunch of spices. So again, coriander, cumin, turmeric. Eventually we'll add some garam masala. I'm probably going to add some fenugreek because I've never tried that, and I think it's probably going to be delicious. One thing that I've seen in some of my favorite Indian recipes is sort of a cashew paste. It gives it kind of like a nutty, obviously, flavor, but it just makes you kind of wonder what's in there, and it's just nice. So we're going to try putting some cashew paste in this. In order to make the cashew paste, I'm just going to take a little bit of milk, maybe, I don't know, quarter of a cup or so. Then put some cashews in there, or microwave it to get it warm, and put some cashews in there, which is going to make this fall out of here. It's going to be very exciting. Great. Cool. All right, so while that's going, let's go ahead and cheat a little bit and get these aromatics chopped up. So I don't really feel like chopping it all by hand, so I'm just going to use this little tiny food processor. Totally welcome to chop by hand, totally welcome to use a food processor, not gonna offend me one bit. I'm also using pre-peeled garlic because it's super cheap, it's delicious, it lasts for a long time, and again, I'm really lazy. I don't know, have any idea what the recipe usually calls for. This is gonna be like, I don't know, 12 cloves of garlic? Yeah, that's probably about right. So then for the ginger, I'm gonna use a moderate sized piece, maybe, I don't know, 3 inches or so. The trick to peeling ginger is use a spoon. So really all you do is you just scrape it with the edge of the spoon, and it peels pretty much instantly. So that's the ginger trick. I will chop this up a little bit before I put it in the food processor, just so that I don't have to go nuts blitzing it. Just kind of help it out a little bit, cut across the grain, make sure the pieces are all nice and even. Or not necessarily even, but just small enough. You don't want big, giant chunks of ginger. I'm mucking up the works here. Take a quick second, see if anybody had any questions or anything. Is that a Ninja Foodie Deluxe? No, so this is part of the Breville, what they call a control grip. It's basically like a immersion blender that has a bunch of additional attachments that are all super useful. I've never used the whisk attachment, although I imagine it's really fun to use. But we use this little tiny food processor all the time. It's mostly for stuff like this, like just getting a whole bunch of garlic done really fast, or whatever. I'm also going to go ahead and throw. Again, you don't have to use these if you don't want to, but I've got 2 serranos here. They're going bad. I also like my chicken tikka masala to be a little bit spicy, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw those in there. These you don't really have to cut. I just I'm doing it out of habit. So then, this little guy goes on here. Not plugged in. Very important. Cool. So in about 3 seconds, you have like totally pureed, not pureed, but chopped up everything that you need. You do want to avoid breathing that if you did the chopped up peppers, because it is pretty napalmy. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and cook this on here. We'll get the pan at, medium high heat. The recipe calls for ghee. That would be great if I had some, or we might have some. I don't know. I don't really feel like finding it. So I'm just gonna use whole butter. A couple tablespoons. Maybe 3 tablespoons. While we're waiting on that, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up just a little bit. Into this rice. Oh yeah. Need to take the warm milk and go ahead and put the cashews in it so they can do their thing, kind of soften up a little bit. So, not too many cashews. Maybe a small handful. I don't know. We'll go like that many, maybe a little more. Go ahead and put those in the milk. They'll hang out, do their thing. I don't really know why you do it in the milk. I think just soften it up, and you don't keep the milk. You discard it. But again, it just kind of gives it that like nutty, like, what's in this type of thing. Alright, so pan is a little bit hot. I'll go ahead and add this. So I know you guys can't really see into the pan, which is a little bit of a bummer. And again, I don't have my really fancy double camera set up here, but you can imagine what's going on in there. I'll probably try to do a couple of little camera tilts or pan tilts to get some visuals. I'm bummed. I was going to try to use YouTube Live, but apparently you have to have clicked on the YouTube Live button at least once in order for your account to be activated, and then they put you in a 24-hour waiting period, so that was a bummer, but alas, Facebook Live will have to do it. Alright, so this is going to take a minute or so. We're not trying to do much to this other than just like to kind of start it cooking a little bit. We do want to have our tomatoes open because after the spices, they're going to be the next thing that goes in, and we want to have them ready to kind of pull the pan down a little bit. Cool. So, that's looking good. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we'll give that a little tilt. Sounds like the rice is just about to be under pressure. Cool. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add a bunch of spices. So we're going to go cumin. We're going to go pretty hard with this. Maybe, I don't know, tablespoon or so, 2 tablespoons maybe. Coriander, we're going to do a little bit less of this, but still a good amount, much more than we did on the chicken. And then some turmeric, maybe same amount as the cumin, or sorry, as the coriander. Just give that a little stir. All we're kind of trying to do here. Oh, you know what we totally forgot to do is onion. Going too fast. So, no problem. Just going to turn that off for a minute. Quickly chop an onion.
Jason Baker says, close your vent, dog.
It is. Weird. Good call. Thanks. Who was it? Jason Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pro tip right there. Alright. No. Anyways, so this would have been something that would have been good to do before we started cooking. But, you know, here we are. Totally fine. Give our board a little wipe here. Get all the little onion wispies. So in case you're new to cooking with Baber, I'm going to do sort of the standard onion cutting method, so I kind of skipped through it a little bit here, but you basically want to leave the little wispy root end on there. You want to cut off the other end, cut it in half, peel it, and then stick it on your cutting board. This is a weird onion, it's like a little half-seed onion. And give it a cut this way. Go ahead and do two, just to do both. Then we're going to cut it vertically, almost all the way to the end, but not all the way through, at the width that you're looking for the final cuts to be. And then we're going to turn the onion and go the other way, and it'll just fall into a really beautiful little dice. Okay, so. And then as you get kind of near the root, you want to just tip it over, clean it up a little bit, and you can go right back to chopping it the original way. And then you kind of end up with just this little stubby root section that you can just discard. Alright, so we would have wanted to wait until after the onions were done to add all those dry spices that I just added, but you know what? It's not going to really matter. It's still going to be good. So, alright, we got the onion. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the pan. Try not to get quite as much on the floor as I did. Totally fine. Alright. And we're back. Cool. Alright, and since those spices probably soaked up a decent amount of that butter, we're just going to add a little bit more. We didn't add any salt yet, but because we want those onions to go ahead and break down a little bit and start sweating, we're going to go ahead and add that now. Not a huge amount, because we always want to be able to add some later. Maybe a tablespoon or so, just to get it started. So again, this is going to be a little bit weird because now we kind of have a dry pan. Because again, the spices are just soaking up all the liquid that might have been in here from the aromatics. But as the onion starts to sweat, it'll pick that up, no problem. Go ahead and go a little bit higher on the heat here. Not really at risk of burning much. Alright, so yeah, the onions are almost through the pressure phase. Again, I'm just try to clean up a little bit. Some of this stuff away. The ginger, and the garlic. Alright, so the rice is now done, or done pressure cooking anyways, and so now we want to let it sit for 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in the broiler. This is going to take a little while. We'll give it, I don't know, let's give it 7 minutes and then check on it. Normally you would never want to put something in the broiler and then walk away from it. You always want to be looking at it. But I know this takes a little while, so it's going to be okay. I'm starting to get a little bit of sticking on the bottom of this pan again because we shouldn't have the dry spices in right now, but all good. Alright, so again, I would normally let those onions sweat a little bit more, but just because we're starting to get into a little bit of a danger zone with these spices, let me go ahead and add these tomatoes. Again, I'm not really sure what the recipe called for. We're going to do an entire can of, I really love these, the diced fire roasted ones. We end up buying these more than pretty much any other canned tomatoes. And even though recipes usually don't call for the fire roast, it's just like, you almost never don't want it. So, you know, works for me. Compost all this stuff. Then while we get the cutting board dirty, we can go ahead and chop up the cilantro that we'll need for the end. So, I like to keep my cilantro in just like a plastic bag with a paper towel. It tends to make it last a little bit longer. If you really want to go crazy and make it last the longest, you would kind of put it almost like flowers, like in like an upright jar with some water in it. That'll make it last about as long as you can reasonably expect it to. So for this now, we're just going to let it cook for a little while. Kind of up to you how long you want to go. You know, you could make this really quick and probably do it in like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. We're going to maybe do a little bit of an abridged version just because we had a little bit of a technical issue getting this started, and I want to make sure that we are done by 1. So we'll let that go for a little while. Oh, we have a visitor. Oh, can you not see my head when I'm standing back there?
No.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Anyways, no real trick to this cilantro, just kind of give it a rough chop. We're not going for perfection here. We also don't want it too small. It's still nice to have like the kind of big leaves. Alright, so that's good. And now we should be done all of our chopping. I'll go ahead and get some of this onion off the floor so I stop stepping on it. And also, anytime you chop garlic or anything, one of these things, you want to just get it in water as quickly as you can, otherwise the garlic is impossible to take off, so I'm going to rinse that. Cool, so this has got a pretty good bubble going. Go ahead and give this a taste. Yeah, the onions are not quite where I want them to be, but that's life. I'm also going to add a little bit of a sprinkle of sugar to this. Not too much, maybe like half a tablespoon. Just to kind of round it out, especially with the hot peppers, like it's nice to have a little bit of sweetness to balance it. Check on the chicken, see what it's up to. Yeah, doing okay. You're not going to get like a crazy amount of like char from the broiler in most cases. That's why it's kind of nice to do it on the grill. But didn't really feel like going outside today. It would have made things even more complicated. Alright, so I think it's about time to add the cashew paste, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to use this food processor again, because I don't feel like getting out the mortar and pestle and dealing with that. Hopefully this isn't too little of an amount to actually work, so give it a shot. Still not plugged in. Great. So we'll go ahead and add this. It needs a couple minutes to just like kind of cook the raw cashew flavor out of it. But I should have plenty of time. Just want to keep stirring this, make sure that it's not sticking to the bottom. I'm on a pretty aggressive heat setting right now, so you know, kind of trying to push the time a little bit, but just need to be keeping an eye on it. The only other things we're going to be adding to this are Heavy cream, I'm going to add some fenugreek, and we're doing garam masala to finish. And then the cilantro. And we're going to want to blend it a little bit. I'm going to use the immersion blender. You could use a blender. You don't have to blend it either. It's kind of optional. But I think it's a nicer finished product when you do. Another minute while we're waiting here to clean up. Check out the chicken again. Probably about time to turn it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this isn't, again, it's not going to be too brown, but we'll just give it a turn. It's not totally necessary to cook this all the way through, but it does, you know, it is nice that you don't have to worry about cooking it more in the sauce. So I like to give this a good solid boil. So we're going to go 7 minutes again on the other side, and then that should be done. Almost out of liquid in this pan, so now we're getting pretty close here. So, in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and add our garam masala and fenugreek. You probably want to do maybe 2 tablespoons or so garam masala. Again, it's kind of the taste. I like my chicken tikka to be pretty well seasoned. I don't think that's very traditional. I think most of the time you get chicken tikka masala, it's mostly just like a tomatoey creamy sauce with some very overcooked chicken, but you know, to each their own. The fenugreek is like sort of a weird ingredient. Again, I was saying earlier that you should taste your ingredients. This one, like, you would taste it and be like, why in the world am I adding this to my food? It just doesn't taste great by itself. It does have a weird property of when you add it to something like this, it makes it taste like it's been cooked kind of a lot longer than it actually was. Most of the time you'll see this in like a sag dish, which is like the spinach, pureed spinach. I don't know that I've tried it in chicken tikka masala, so I'm kind of excited to see how it works out. If it doesn't, I will let you guys know. But I think it's going to be great. Yeah, so again, we're almost out of liquid here, so it's almost time to add the cream. It's pretty good. Needs a little bit of salt. Go ahead and add that. 9 minutes on the rice, so that's almost done. We're going to go ahead and add some frozen peas once that is finished. So you don't need to cook these, you don't need to do anything with these. The heat from the rice will thaw the peas, and they're perfectly good like that. So that's pretty easy. Okay, so it's about ready to puree. We'll go ahead and add the heavy cream to it. Oh, this is like very, give this a little shake. Very cream-topped cream. I'm not adding a crazy amount here, maybe half a cup. I like it to be creamy, but not like insane. And this is the bottom to the thick blender, so it's just kind of like a modular little thing, which is again really nice. This isn't going to quite reach. So, toaster break. I'm going to turn this down. So again, like, you can find a lot of different chicken tikka masala recipes on the internet. I think the one I posted for the work chat was the Serious Eats one, which has a lot of lemon. You have to marinate the chicken for a long time. I will admit that my favorite chicken tikka masala that I made for a long time was on the Pioneer Woman website. That was from her pastor. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Whatever you find, you know, if it tastes good to you, use it. So the rice is now done. I'm just going to give it a stir to make sure everything's nice and incorporated. Since my rice paddle is in the dishwasher, so use this guy. Give it a little stir. It should be perfectly cooked if you follow the ratios, but just give it, a sample. It's good. You don't want to go crazy with the peas, because if you do too many, they'll be too cold and they'll just bring the rice down to, room temp. But if you do just like, a nice little garnish with peas, it should be just right. So go ahead and mix those in. Let them sit there. Again, you can leave the Instant Pot on for now, but once you sit down to eat, you will definitely want to hit cancel on that, or it will get really stuck on there, and it's a real pain to clean up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and blend this. Give it one last taste. Yum. Okay, so you want to try to not make a mess here. So usually tip the pan a little bit. This pan's a little bit big, so makes it a little bit more challenging. It's really easy to spray yourself. And again, you're not looking for like a totally smooth puree. Like if you were to do this in a blender, you might want to only do like half of it. I just like to kind of even out the big chunks and have some nice pureed parts. Cool. So that looks pretty good. Make sure it doesn't stick on there. Cool. Alright, so now we'll give it another taste. Check on our chicken in a second here. A little bit more salt. Both the cashews and the fenugreek made it really nice. So this is kind of what we're looking at here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks absolutely delicious. Tastes really great. What more can you ask for? One more taste. Perfect. All right. Chicken's looking good. So again, not much color on it because a lot of liquid from the yogurt. Plus, it's just like I use a toaster oven, so the broiler is not insanely hot. We do need to chop this up though before it goes in. We'll give it a couple seconds just to chill out. Alright, so go ahead and take that chicken. Whoa, losing some pieces here. It'd probably be easier to do like 2 pieces at a time or so. Nothing really fancy here, we're just kind of going to go with a rough chop. If you care, you probably want to do it against the grain, make nice little tender bites. And then go ahead and put those into your sauce. Charlie, back up. Probably have a better way to do that. Whatever, only have to do it 3 times. Just go ahead and do all the rest of the chicken now. Again, totally rough chop is absolutely fine. Again, if you want to get crazy and go against the grain with every single piece, be my guest. Don't really care. I use chicken thighs, so it's going to be tender and delicious no matter what. This is fully cooked now. I can see that it's done all the way through. Cool. So that's done. Out of here. A lot of stores nowadays have like pre-made naan. That's actually quite. I mean, it's not as good as naan you get at a restaurant or make yourself, but perfectly serviceable for something like this. You can actually keep it in the freezer, and it's, you just throw it right in the toaster oven or the toaster, and it's great. So once you mix this in, I suggest adding a little bit of your cilantro just for some contrast in the chicken tikka masala itself. And then we're going to use the rest for garnish. So completely finished. And give it one more taste with the chicken. Tastes great. Let's plate it. So, a little bit of rice. Nice and pretty with the peas. Go ahead and turn that off. Reuse our serving utensil because why not? Make a nice little pile of the chicken tikka masala in the center. And turn that off. A little bit of garnish of cilantro. And that will do it. Hope you guys had fun. Sorry for the technical troubles. And yeah, we're doing these weekly for work. You know, I'll try to post the recordings. Hopefully we don't have to do it on Facebook Live again, but we're here, we made it work, and that's gonna do it. Ta-da! All right, well, thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.